It was going to be bigger and better. We know The Rock's going to get the win. He's going to pin Ken Shamrock. He moves on to Judgment Day, where he's going to take on Mark Henry. Of course, that's a carryover from the old Nation storyline. And Henry pins him clean in 5 minutes. I, of course, would not have had that on my bingo card. You know, hey, listen, we're telling stories.
We'll see how it happened. See how it happened there.
Oh yeah, a little help from D'Lo Brown.
Yeah.
I mean, the nation's getting their comeuppance on The Rock here.
Rock had an out.
Yes,
we as storytellers, we had an out. To be honest with you, hey, I just speaking of Mark Henry, his son just signed a letter of intent to go to OU to wrestle.
Oh, that's awesome! I didn't see that. That's great.
Yeah, Oklahoma University. He's going to wrestle. He might even go out for football. I haven't heard definitively that answer, but one of those preferred walk-on things is football. But he'll be the starting heavyweight wrestler there, hopefully for the foreseeable future, starting this fall.
I can't wait to see him, man. What a talented family, you know, the Henrys, and what a good guy. If you ever get a chance to meet Mark Henry at a meet and greet or a convention or anything like that, go out of your way.
Good dude.
I mean, you said earlier what a great testament to the business that Sergeant Slaughter is. I'm going to say that for Mark Henry. Like you won't meet a nicer, more personable guy than Mark Henry.
Mark was raised right.
Yes, sir.
He's got good values. And we like the same food in great volume. So, no, I'm proud of good. Jake is a good kid. He's smart. You know, God dang, their mom was an Ivy League graduate.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, I don't know how Mark did it. He overachieved big time. Got lucky a little bit too. So, but I'm happy for him. He's building a nice career as a broadcaster. And I even saw where he was doing some stand-up comedy. And I thought that was interesting because he's a funny guy.
Oh yeah, he is.
Just to dress those stories up and have at it. So, but he's quite the entrepreneur. I always thought that Mark Henry was probably one of the more overlooked from Hollywood guys that we ever had. His look is, you can't replace it. You can't replace it. You can't substitute for it. He's one of a kind. It's just finding the right role for that one-of-a-kind guy.
Well, we know the right role for The Rock at Survivor Series 98 is, and we've covered this in long form. Check it out in the archives, grillingjr.com. That's grillingjr.com. I really want you to go out of your way to watch that show back. We have covered it before, but man, it's such a fantastic thread that carries all the way through. The Rock winds up winning against the Big Boss Man, against Ken Shamrock, against The Undertaker and Mankind, and he turns heel and becomes the corporate champion. This is a tournament to crown a new champion. Everyone sort of assumed that it was going to be Mankind because he had been gifted the hardcore title. He was sucking up to Vince. The Rock was the people's champ. He's doing the people's elbow. And damn it, he turns again. But The Rock is the world champ at Survivor Series on the 2-year anniversary of making his debut. I mean, this is really rare air. First of all, how many people get to be WWE champion? And then how many can say they did it within the first 2 years of being on the roster? And that includes an injury absence and so much more. This is unprecedented, The Rock's success at this point, no?
Yeah, no, of course. He didn't know, he didn't understand failure. It was unacceptable. And so he made that heel turn work. And let's not forget, there's a picture there that old Bull Ramus showed on with McMahon and Rock. So let's not forget them.
Right.
You had two heels that were hotter than hell that were endorsing The Rock. And seemingly The Rock was lowered his character, his expectations. You know, so anyway, it was that was a nice package. Is what I'm trying to say. The McMahon's blended in well with The Rock, and The Rock took advantage of that rub, quite without a doubt.
Well, what's interesting too is it feels like you had a really hot baby face, And you could have had, I mean, Rock at that point was clearly your number 2 babyface behind Austin, but you could have just kept him right there. But instead, you see more money in switching him to heel. And rather than being maybe the number 2 baby, let's make him the number 1 heel for Stone Cold.
Simple thinking.
It works out, man.
That's exactly how I looked at it. That's exactly how when I talked to Patterson and Vince, that's what I see, because I'm booking the house shows. I'm booking the live events. I know where the disparity is in the balance between the babyface side of the roster and the heel side of the roster. So we got this magnificent once in a generation performer who we can utilize any way we want because he's still young and he's still evolving. Let's do that. Like you said, Conrad, very well put. I'd rather him be the number 1 heel as the number 2 babyface.
Yes.
And we accomplished that.
Man, let's just recap where we are so far. We start in 1998 with him as the Intercontinental Champion, having been handed the title by Stone Cold Steve Austin. He gets in this incredible feud with Ken Shamrock. He's going to be feuding with Farouk about who is the leader of the Nation of Domination. Then we've got this incredible DX versus the Nation thing. Then Triple H versus The Rock. Somehow The Rock becomes a fan favorite. The People's Elbow becomes a thing. Now he wins the world title and screws Mick Foley. So Mick Foley is going to be his next feud. What an incredible 1998. And we're still not done. We've got the Capital Carnage pay-per-view. And we've also got the Rock Bottom pay-per-view to close the year out. That's going to be The Rock's first title defense on pay-per-view. It's going to happen against Mankind. The finish is rather unique. Mankind puts Sacco on Rock. Tim White signals for the bell, but the announcement is from Mr. McMahon that since Rock wasn't pinned and didn't submit, he can retain his title, and Vince gets Sacco for his trouble. But still, we've got a great foil, if you will, in Vince McMahon as a supporting cast member for the Rock story. But Foley, who's this underdog, lovable babyface, this might be WWE at their peak storytelling for this era, I think.
Well, we had multiple stars involved in the script, in the ensemble cast. And you always give guys the opportunity to overachieve and to do better than you perceive they might. And everybody rose to the occasion. Everybody was objective. Everybody was positive. So it was some great creative because we had great talents portraying their various roles.